Welcome to the video Vort. Torah tells us that Yitzchak Avinu had a lot of trouble with the Plishtim. Of course, Avimelech, Melech Gerar, had the incident with Yitzchak and Rivka, similar to Avram and Sarah, whereby Rivka pretended to be unmarried to Yitzchak, and that led to its own difficulties. But even beyond that, the Torah tells us after that whole episode is resolved, as it were, Yitzchak has trouble with the Plishtim more generally, and the dispute revolves around water. Now today water is a major commodity in places throughout the world. Countries threaten to go to war over water, and it is a very, very significant issue in our day and age. And probably it was a significant issue in ancient times as well. However, the Torah is not a history book, and if the Torah tells us there was a water dispute about digging wells, there must be a spiritual dimension that the Torah means for us to draw, pun intended, from this dispute over the water wells. So what is the spiritual dimension to this dispute? Avram Avinu had originally dug the wells, and Yitzchak Avinu had redug them after the Plishtim had stuffed them up, had stopped them up. Avram Avinu represents seeing the world not for what it is, but for what it could be. Avram Avinu was willing to put aside the simplistic view of the world and dig deep below to uncover and reveal the spiritual dimension that is the Ribbono Shel Olam, creator of the world, and the one who causes the world to continue to exist every moment. For Avram Avinu, it wasn't good enough to look at the surface layer as everyone else had done, but for Avram Avinu it was important to dig below. And this is the legacy that he passed on to Yitzchak Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu too, living in a world of Avodah Zarah, of paganism, was not willing to take life as it was, but was compelled to look beneath the surface. And that is that is Yitzchak digging the wells. When the Plishtim come and they stop up the wells and they stuff them up, the spiritual message there is that the Plishtim and Yitzchak Avinu are engaged in a spiritual dispute, in a spiritual conflict, whereby the Plishtim are aiming to defend the status quo of paganism, of seeing the world just at its surface value. Yaakov Avinu said, I will not allow that. I will not be complacent. I will not forego the legacy of my father Abraham, and I will redig the wells. I will dig below the surface to uncover, to reveal the Ribbono Shel Olam, who at surface level is sometimes not readily apparent. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us that we are able to pick up the legacy of Abraham, of Yitzchak, and then of Yaakov, and of Klal Yisrael afterwards, and not see the world at its face value, but be compelled to dig below the surface and to reveal the spiritual dimension that is life. Good Shabbos.